I never could have foreseen a stranger intruding upon our son's birthday festivities. Yet that's precisely what transpired, reshaping my existence in an instant. That morning, I stirred with a curious mix of excitement and exhaustion. My young son had been counting down the days with fervor, prattling on about balloons, the cake, and the presents he hoped to unwrap. I was resolute in crafting a perfect day for him. Despite the recent tension between my wife and me, I kept reminding myself that this moment was for our boy. He deserved a memory brimming with happiness, laughter, and familial warmth. I festooned the living room with bright balloons, hung a cheerful banner declaring, "Happy Birthday," and ensured the cake was flawlessly ready. Family members trickled in, my parents laden with gifts, her parents glowing with smiles. Soon, the house thrummed with the joyful clamor of children scampering about, and the murmur of lively chatter. Then the doorbell rang again. I thought little of it as I swung the door open to reveal an unfamiliar man, neatly but casually attired, holding a meticulously wrapped gift. Before I could ask who he was, my wife rushed over, her smile strained and uneasy, saying, "He's just a co-worker from the office." She explained he was there to deliver a small present for our son. Something in her voice felt off, her cheer seemed forced, her face overly animated, but I dismissed it. Perhaps it was merely a kind gesture from a colleague. I shook his hand, though I couldn't ignore how comfortable he seemed, as if he fit naturally into our home. As the party progressed, I kept noticing him. He wasn't just mingling. He hovered near my wife, laughing too heartily at her jokes, standing closer than seemed appropriate. When she introduced him to relatives, she reiterated, "He's just a co-worker," but a subtle instinct murmured that there was more to it. I tried to push the discomfort aside, focusing on my son's beaming joy as he darted around, unaware of any tension. Everything changed when I slipped into the kitchen to grab more plates. There, I saw them, my wife and her alleged co-worker, standing far too near, their voices low, their hands brushing in a way that betrayed an intimacy no colleague should share. Then, in a moment that froze my heart, he leaned forward, and she didn't pull away. Their lips met in a kiss that pinned me in place. A storm of emotions crashed over me, rage, betrayal, pain, disbelief, like fire and ice colliding in my chest. My hands clenched, my breath caught, and for a brief second, I wanted to yell. But my son's laughter rang from the hallway, anchoring me to his day. I wouldn't let her infidelity ruin his happiness. Swallowing the fury, I drew a trembling breath and retreated quietly, as if I hadn't seen. Yet the image burned into my memory, impossible to erase. I couldn't hold it in for long. I marched back to the kitchen, ensuring they noticed me this time. Their faces paled, guilt glaringly obvious. My wife's mouth opened, perhaps to offer an explanation, but I silenced her. Driven by the anger I'd suppressed, I confronted the man. In a blaze of rage, I seized him, shoved him forcefully, and unleashed the hurt of his audacity to violate such a sacred moment. The noise drew a crowd. Family and children hurried to the kitchen, gasps echoing around us. My son, confused, clung to his grandparents. My wife cried out, begging me to stop, but her pleas were hollow. I expelled the man from our home, from my son's celebration, declaring loudly enough for all to hear, "You don't belong here. Never return." Then I faced her, my voice quivering but firm. "It's over. I don't want you here when I come back." The room grew still, only the faint rustle of balloons and the distant hum of a birthday tune breaking the silence. Her eyes widened, tears welling, but I didn't linger to see more. I left the house, abandoning the party and its chaos for her to manage, needing distance to process the devastating reality that the woman I trusted, the mother of my child, had betrayed me on a day meant for love. The following morning, I moved decisively. I visited the courthouse and filed for divorce, unwilling to entertain excuses or empty promises. Her choice had been made long before that kitchen kiss. I had been blind, perhaps deliberately so, but no more. Looking back on that day, I see it as both the most heart-wrenching and liberating moment of my life. I lost a marriage, but I regained my self-respect. I confronted the painful truth directly, refusing to pretend it didn't happen. My son will always have my steadfast love and protection, but as for her, She became a chapter closed the instant her affair partner walked into our son's birthday celebration.